Thank you very much for joining, as I said, and I'm going to hand over now for a session, Confessions from a Serial Event Marketeer, and to Andrzej.
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming. So every one of us has organized an event at least once, I think. It could have been a birthday party, it could have been a small social gathering. It's not important right now if it was professionally done. What is important, but whenever we organize events, we always experience some kind of stress, a lot of nice feeling, because we want to make something extraordinary. So I will talk about my confession during my 17 years of organizing different kind of events. My name is Andrzej Targosz. I organize events as my own event at the beginning. After that, I started to organize the corporate events. And finally, I became the service provider for the technology that helps to engage attendees, help to manage events, and some kind of measure them. So we don't usually choose to become an event marketer or event manager, just like we don't choose to we don't choose to love extreme sports. We simply feel that we want to do something extraordinary, we want to do something special, we want to connect people. And that was the same thing with me. So I studied computer engineering, which is far away from event organizing. After that, I started my own venture, which was advanced cybersecurity training. It was 19 years ago. What I did, I decided to promote my trainings with events and with building the community around cybersecurity. That's what I did. After 2 years, the idea of organizing events and building community was so successful that I decided to completely drop cybersecurity training and just solely focus on organizing event. So here's my first confession based on my experience. If you like adrenaline, if you like stress, you don't need to do bungee jumping or any kind of sports car. Just organize events. That's an extreme sport. Long distance and extreme. I like this comparison between events management and extreme sport. And I want to show you a short video that describes how the sport industry developed through the years. I believe that we are living the time when the same thing happened with event industry, but definitely faster. So give me a second, I will switch to the video. Oh, come on.
But Holland comes in for a pit stop. Time to refuel and change tires. Lou Moore himself changes the tires. Only 4 crew members, including the driver, are allowed to work on the car. It's a tense time. Holland stays in his seat, anxious to get away. Let's watch. Tires are changed at last. A crewman polishes the windshield as Holland moves away just 67 seconds after he stops.
I think that's exactly what we experience today, especially after COVID, when all of the deadlines are really tough and everybody expects from us that we can organize events really fast. Here's my second confession. When we organize events, we need to remember that. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Sorry. We don't want to use any more sports car racing. One is enough. So the good agenda is not enough to build a really memorable event. My background allowed me to break events into smaller pieces and design the process that helps me to organize event and somehow organize the chaos of organizing all the events. For everyone who would like to get this template, I can share it with you, so just drop me an email, or we are here on the 6 Connect stand before, just give your business card with the short note that we want to receive it, and next week I can send it to you. What surprised me in events is that a part of all of these deadlines and all of this stress, events are pure emotions and experience. So it's crucial to balance between just the spreadsheets process and things that we need to deliver to our attendees. I think that the event manager job is most similar to the firefighter. So they need to take care about all small, tiny details to make this event or this job successful. There's a practice also with good presentation, and I'm trying to do it right now, that most important takeaways at the slides at the very beginning. So even if you want to follow the rest of the presentation, if you want to spend some time in the other place, but I hope won't happen, here are just a few things that I want you to remember. You must always think like your attendees. Very often, when we're organizing events, we stumble upon a course of knowledge. So we think that we know exactly what to say to our attendees. We think that they know what they have to do, but usually it's not like that. I can give you an example, even with this venue. Usually when we organize events, we know where the venue is located. But our attendees, sometimes that's their first time in the city, in the venue, in the country. So you need to communicate well, you need to inform attendees how they need to get from the train station for the airport to the venue, how they can get to the conference room. That's very important because usually we forgot about it. If something goes wrong, definitely it will, that's for sure. Yesterday I talked with my friend who organized marriage for his daughter's marriage, and he prepared it for 1 year long. And he told me, he did everything right, and he told me that 2 months ago, venue owner called him, and they told him that there was small fire close to the venue, and they need to rebuild a part of it, so they are not sure if they will be able to rent this venue for this wedding. They are preparing it for 1 year. So always have a plan B and plan C. Finally, he got a message 1 week ago, and they told him that, first of all, they repaired it, and second of all, they got approval and all of the certification that they need to do to be able to rent this venue. So think about plan B and plan C. Trusted partners are the key element to the success. What I mean by partners, I mean not only providers, but all of the people who are involved in organizing events. I will talk about it a little bit more later. And last but not least, small things matter. Clear and open communication. It's not only about tech stack that you want to build, not only about all the fireworks that you are trying to prepare. Simple and small things are really important. Confession number 4, based on my experience. Probably we can hear today on most of the talk that events are important because they can help you with your marketing. That's true. But to be honest, I think that some of events doesn't make sense at all. So you need to achieve goals and you need to know why you want to organize events, because in other ways it doesn't make sense. I'm a big fan of Simon Sinek presentation, Start with Why. So I think that it's important to ask yourself why we want to organize events. Is it the best solution to achieve our goals? I like to compare event marketing with content marketing. Probably some of you know when you start building your content marketing, first of all, what you do, you are trying to prepare your buyer persona. After that, you are trying to build the content strategy. Then you know what should be a narrative and what you want to achieve, and at the end, how to measure it. I can't understand why we can't do the similar things with events. So something like the event marketing strategy before the event, to know what we want to achieve, how we want to measure it. It's not important if you want to build a sales funnel, want to fuel recruitment, or for instance, you just want to bring partners and make some money on it. That's fine. The most important part is to understand why we are organizing this event. And the second question with why is, why participants want to attend in this event? So why they decide to spend their time on our event. If they want to just meet each other, they want to buy something, or there's another reason, like they want to learn something. Confession number 5. When we know exactly why we want to organize events, we need to make a solid research. What kind of research we need to do? First is a competition. But competition, I don't mean only other conferences or, for instance, your industry competitions. I remember one time I organized an event in Poland. Actually, it was around the football World Cup. And on the first day of event, Polish national team played. No one wanted to participate in conference after party. Our speakers, experts, were surprised and hard to understand why no one wanted to talk with them. But I believe that because we are in the European capital of football, everybody here understands why it happened. So by research, I mean that we need to check everything. Any kind of celebration, sport events, and anything that attract attendees. While doing your research, try to imagine what participant we expect from you and what exactly and how they want to experience it. It's also important. Another time I organized the event for executive level for the corporate customer. What we did, we invited well-known traveler. We decorated our venue with that looks like the jungle. We even got 200 trucks of sand. But just after the event, there were gala, which means that all attendees came in elegant shoes, high heels, and they were struggling with walking through the sand. Of course, we prepared the passage, wooden passage, but it was so narrow that our schedule completely messed up. So we found in our survey after the event that attendees told us that they think that we prepared this event more to fulfill creator needs, not their requirements. So what is important, we need to find the balance between art and utility. Last but least, we need to do the solid research with venue. We need to analyze if it's comfortable for attendees. It being trendy is not as important as fulfilling basic needs. Is there a cloakroom? Is it easy to get to this place? Is it enough toilets even? So there are all important small things because it can always bring the chaos for the event. Confession number 6, and I talked a little bit about it before. The attendees know way less about the event than we think. So what I would recommend to you, And I think it's very important part and often overlooked by organizers. Once you set everything up, I mean everything, signs, everything, and your event is ready, try to forget about everything. Try to clear your mind and try to walk through all this, all the venue, all the steps like you are your attendee. Sometimes I can see invitation to the event, and there is no information how to get to the venue. We can see the same thing with online events. When for instance, there's an invitation, but there is no link how to connect or how to link to this venue. So it's really important, and it's our role and responsibility to communicate everything to our attendees. Confession number 7. Building community is the key to success. A strong community can forgive you a lot. It's really, difficult relationship between attendees and organizers. If you organize event, you need to do your best to make your attendees that they are part of your event. It's no matter if you are organizing the paid event or you just organize the corporate event. That's the same. Because whenever your attendees feel that they are part of it, they will help you to build large presence, they will definitely help you with engagement, they will help you with all small things during the event. Of course, more participants means higher cost. So you need to think ahead about your pricing policy. When hosting internal events, it's quite easy because you are working on a given budget, so it's easy. But whenever you organize your event with different departments or with partners, you need to remember that you need to find the balance between your partner's expectation and what your attendees needs. It's very often we have the situation when partners are trying to overtake event, and after several events, attendees stop coming because they feel overwhelmed with all of the situation during the event. So I call it the love and hate relation with attendees, because when they feel that they are part of this event, they can forgive you almost everything. Maybe instead of cold food and things like that. So you need to remember about all of these things. So my recommendation is that community is everything. The next confession, I talk about it a little bit. So the most random things can surprise you at an event. You must always have a plan B or plan C. But by that I don't mean that you have just the spreadsheet and you follow it, but I think that you need to be ready for different scenarios. I remember one event that we organized. It was IT event, and we invited keynote speaker from Berlin, from Germany. He decided to go by train to Poland because he told us that he wanted to spend some time, rest, sleep. That's fine, fair enough. What happened? We didn't know that he would fall asleep so hard that he forgot to step on the station in Krakow. What happened? The next station was in the Minsk, in Belarus. So I spent entire day, first of all, finding the speaker, talking with custom officers to bring him back from the border. In the same time, I was trying to find someone who can replace him because he was the keynote speaker. I did quite well, so he came on the second day of the conference, but I couldn't find the replacement. So all of the attendees were angry. A different example. One of our customers wanted to organize an event with high-tech LCD screens. So we was thinking where we can organize this event. And we thought that the best option would be to take a 3D cinema, because all the tech and electricity should be fine. Imagine what happened with 10 minutes before the break, when food heaters won't turn on, all the electricity went down. We had just 90 minutes to, first of all, find new power supplies in the city that it was actually not our home city, so we need to find the power supplies and rewire all installation. We did it with 5 minutes delay, but it was so stressful that I don't want to do it again. So I would recommend to think about all of the small details that can help you with plan B and plan C. Confession number 9. There's a bright and dark side of event industry. It's good to be aware of the dark one. Here are just my experience, so I'm not saying that everybody does this. Again, not everybody does this, but they are my experience. So, first one, food suppliers and hotels, they sometimes want to save on the food. I know that it sounds mind-blowing and crazy, but that was my experience. We did the conference for 300 attendees, and we ordered 300 meals. We used our technology to scan attendees whenever we want to get the food. And we scanned 230, and there were no food. We asked caterer what happened. We ordered 300. And he told us, we thought that there will be about 20% no-shows, so we ordered less food. You can imagine how it finished, We get a really bad note in the feedback. Another thing, when you organize event, mostly corporate events, no one, when they outsource the event, no one wants to pay commission. That's something that amazed me. So for instance, they want to have a budget without additional commission for event agency or event producer. What they want to make us, they want to put on the top of each services additional money to hide the fee. It's crazy, because it shouldn't be like that. We are living in the 21st century, so internet is not blessing anymore. Even in this venue, all of us should have access to the internet. So I would highly recommend to you to double check with the venue owners if we have internet and if it's working, if it's not divided on several different locations or several different customers. And I think the last one is really important to me, because when you know why you organize the event, you need to also try to measure it. Try to measure the conversion, try to measure engagement, and all of the small things that can help you to understand if you did your works well. At Six Connects, we put a lot of attention to the ROI measurement and how we can do it. So I think it's important, and I would say that's the very first moment that I'm showing our internal Six Connects event engagement scoring system. So what we did, we analyzed hundreds of events. And what we do before, during, and after the event, we analyze hundreds of data points from the event, and we are trying to tell event managers if they are doing their work well. So based on our experience, what we are looking for, we are looking how attendees are trying to consume the event content. I'm not talking about just content, but also about gamification, networking, and all of these small things that matters. When I talk with customers, I always ask them why they want to organize events and what they expect from them. If they expect to have, 500 attendees, I ask them, is it important for you what kind of position are they? Or it's important for you more important for you to have just 100 attendees who are just directors. It depends what you want to achieve, and then you can measure it. So when you talk with your customers, you can always dig deeper and deeper and deeper to understand how you can help them to achieve their business goals. And I think that the last confession at the end, trusted partners are your gold. Treat them like your employees. Having trusted partners is a element to get good event organization. It's not enough to just hire people. It's important to take care about them. So, for instance, if it's a new city when you organize event, take care about your partners that they can sleep close to the venue. They don't spend too much time to getting to the venue. They need to be rest because that's the only way that they can help you during the event. You need to respect them and build a relationship definitely before the event. What is also important, you need to have a clear communication with your partners. What I mean by that, for instance, when you want to rent the lights, white lights, it's important to give them information if it's a warm light or cold light, because sometimes it might be some misunderstanding. And at the end, I would say that it's important to build your own environment and around your event. So choose the right tool, probably the one tool that can fulfill all of your needs. Technology is important because that's the only way, especially nowadays, after the COVID, to use technology that helps you to measure everything what happened during the event, before the event, and after the event. I think that's all of my confession after 17 years of experience in the event industry. I hope that you have different ones. And yeah, that's all. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Just before you all run away, just as I mentioned, there is an opportunity to ask questions. The one that came through during the course of the presentation. Obviously, that's stuff that you've learned over the past 17 years, I think you mentioned. How do you see the events industry kind of developing over the next few years? And any ideas what confession number 12 will be?
It's a hard question. I think that I can see that there are, tough deadlines, and it will be more stressful. Now we are in the top 5 stressful job position in the world, so probably we can hit to the first three. Nothing else. I think that it will be combined virtual and in-person event, because in-person events still are important because we can talk each other, and I think that the relationship matters. So that's all. Nothing changed.
Amazing. Thank you very much. Does anyone else have a question to raise at all, or are we about done? No? That's it. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much, Andrzej.